Again, my name is Lori Filippo. I'm the Assistant Director of Grad Recruitment. And to start out with, we're going to talk a little bit about grad admissions at UNLV. So to start out with, we like to discuss is why grad school? So going for your graduate and professional degree, it does help you stand out from the crowd. We found out only about 14% actually hold graduate and professional degrees. So having that graduate and or professional degree, it does give you those skills that a lot of the employers are looking for. So once you're getting ready to go into that career, you'll be able to have the research, leadership, all the different types of experience that will make you that much more competitive in the work field. So why grad school at UNLV? If you're not familiar with UNLV, UNLV is a prestigious R1 ranking institution. We're one of only 131 universities to actually hold this R1 ranking. At UNLV, we do have over 175 graduate degree and certificate programs. And this does include more than 40 doctoral and professional programs. And we are currently the second most diverse university in the country. And then you'll see some of our other rankings where we do rank top 10 in social mobility. We are one of only 119 universities to have the community engagement classification. And you'll hear about this a little bit later as well, but a lot of our programs, aside from us being an R1 ranking and also a regionally accredited institution, a lot of our programs do hold their own national rankings and accreditations. So at UNLV, you'll get to learn from nationally and internationally recognized faculty. You'll partner a lot with the community, local employers, interning with local employers. So we really want to get you involved and get that full experience. As a student, you'll get to work in labs, research centers, and we know our students are very non-traditional. So we do offer our classes in the afternoon, evening. We have online classes, hybrid classes. We even have fully online programs. Speaking about experience, we do offer graduate assistantships to our students, which we'll touch on a little bit later on what all that entails for our students. And then, of course, you can get those relationships with your faculty and your classmates. So UNLV, it was founded in 1957. Right now, we do have over 5,000 grad students. We have over 1,000 international students, and our students, I would say even our faculty, staff, they're coming from well over 80 different countries. Okay, so paying for grad school. So this is just to give you an estimate on what our students are paying annually for their tuition and fees. So full-time for a grad student is considered 9 credits or 3 classes per semester. So for the fall and spring, just to give you an idea for tuition and fees, if you are going full credits, the 9 credits for fall and spring, your tuition and fees would be a little over $7,000 for in-state and a little over $24,000 for out-of-state. Now, we know this is still an expense and we want to help out any way we can. So a few ways that we do this is through graduate assistantships. So our GAs, they are students and they are working on campus. They are working in academic areas and non-academic areas all over campus. So research GAs, they could be teaching GAs, they could be administrative, so really all over campus. Now, what the GA covers, it will cover your full tuition up to 9 credits. If you are out of state, it will waive the out-of-state tuition, so you'll be coded as an in-state student while you are on the GA. On top of covering your tuition, you will also receive a stipend between $17,000 and $22,000. It just depends on what kind of GA you are going for. Also, if you are a GA, if you need to use UNLV's health insurance while you're a graduate assistant, it will also cover your health insurance. There's also some summer tuition benefits where, as of right now, I believe they are covering the tuition of 1 course during the summertime. So It's not required for you to apply as a GA. You can be a GA your first semester. Really what you'll have to do is once you submit your application to grad school, then you can go ahead and apply for really as many GAs as you would like. The thing I do like to mention about the health insurance is that if you enroll in 9 or more credits, you're automatically going to see the health insurance charge on your account. If you have your own health insurance, maybe you're working right now, if you're on a family member's, whatever the case may be, if you have your own health insurance and do not need to use UNLV's and you enroll in 9 or more credits, make sure to waive out of ours. That will help out tremendously with the cost. But again, if you are a GA and you do need to use UNLV's, we will cover that cost for you. Now, aside from GAs, we also offer 5.7 million in awards. So this is for new and current student scholarships. There's fellowship opportunities and a ton of awards. So make sure when you become a student with us, you're checking out your Rebel email to see if there's any awards throughout the campus, maybe even in your own department, that could be offering awards through research, teaching, and much more. Now, just to let you know, we also have low cost of living and tuition. So we do have many different residency options, both on the campus and really just less than a mile away from UNLV. In Nevada, if you're not familiar with the state, we do not have any state income tax. And then of course, as a student, you get to take advantage of all the discounts, tickets, and entertainment, both within the Las Vegas area and on the campus. Okay, so speaking about the services to offer while you are a student with us, we do have the Graduate and Professional Student Association, or the GPSA. So while you are a grad student, you are automatically part of the GPSA. They do offer many free certificates, career support, workshops, trainings, and they have locations like the one in this image just for grad students. So this is actually on the 2nd floor of our library. This is where you can utilize all the technology, whiteboards, the computers, there's kitchen space in here. So anything to really help our grad students out while they're going for their studies. There also is the Grad Academy. So again, they offer a ton of free leadership, career development opportunities while you're going for your program. And on this slide, you'll be able to see a little bit more of an idea of what all they do offer for our students. So if you are going for that MBA program and maybe you want to do some additional certifications, maybe in research, or taking some of the workshops or the programs, these are all free resources that you can do while you are a student at UNLV. So definitely take advantage of it, make that full experience while you're a UNLV student, and check out some of what is offered for you. Okay, so applying to be a UNLV student, what you will do is you will need to fill out the application online. If you are currently at UNLV or an in-state student, you will fill out your application through the Grad Rebel Gateway. If you are an out-of-state student or an international student, you will complete your application through the centralized application system. Either portal you use, you'll have to go ahead and upload all of your required documents for your program in your application. The application fee is $95 for international students or $60 for domestic students. But the main thing is that make sure you know what your deadline is. All of our programs do have a specific deadline on when you have to have your application and materials submitted by. Once you submit your application and documents, your application is going to be reviewed first by the graduate admissions team. They want to see that you have a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited institution or an approved international equivalent. For your bachelor's, they want to see that you have at least a 2.75 overall GPA. If you fall below the 2.75, they'll look at the last 60 credits you've completed, and they want to see that you have at least a 3.0. Now, if you fall below both of these, don't feel discouraged. Still go ahead and submit your application and documents. The department will still review your application and see if you can be considered for provisional admissions. Now, with your application, we do need to see transcripts from each post-secondary institution you attended. We only need copies. We don't need anything official unless you've been accepted into your program. If you completed coursework outside of the US, we do need to see a transcript that's both in the original language and an English translation if it's not already in English. If you are an international student, you may also be required to show proof of English proficiency. So this would be through like IELTS, TOEFL, your Duolingo, or if you've completed a post-secondary degree from an institution where English is the primary language of instruction for the whole institution, we can use that degree in place of the English test. Now, if you have any questions on any of these requirements or what would be required specifically for you, definitely reach out to us. We'll let you know what you need to submit. After your application gets reviewed by the admissions team, it's then going to be reviewed by the department. Well, they will review your full application and make the admissions decision. So items that they might require could include a personal statement, letters of recommendation. They might include a resume or a GMAT, GRE. So you definitely want to check out the catalog, look at your degree pages to see what is the specific requirements for your program. And then again, make sure you know what your deadline is. Some of our programs only admit once a year. Some programs have very, very early deadlines. But if you have to do a GRE, a GMAT, if you have to get letters of recommendation, a statement, make sure you're giving yourself plenty of time to get practice tests, the study materials. Make sure you're doing edits on any of the papers that you have to submit. So make sure it's looking the best application that it can be before you get everything submitted. And then this just to let you know that we do have other events, so make sure to keep looking back at our calendar. We do have Grad School 201, which is a great event because it will go into a little bit more detail on those specific departmental requirements that you may need to submit with your application. So definitely keep a lookout to see what other events we may have and make sure to sign up for them. And then always stay connected with us. If you have any questions about the application, what you might have to submit, or if you just, again, have any questions in general. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and I'll pass it to Dr. Davis.
All right. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the MBA program, the different concentrations, the MBA and graduate student experience at the Lead Business School, and also a little bit more about the application process and the tests. So I'll go ahead and get started. So a little bit about the Lead Business School. Lori had mentioned some accolades for the university, but we do also have our own with the Lead Business School. It is AACSB accredited, and that's the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. And we are one of 5% of the schools internationally recognized by AACSB, and the only one accredited by AACSB in Southern Nevada. There are 2 institutions in the state of Nevada that have AACSB accreditation. One is UNLV, and the other one is UNR up north. We also, our MBA program is top 100 according to US News and World Report. So we're really excited about that. We've been in the top 100 for the past 10 years. So it definitely adds a lot of value to your degree, having the degree from an AACSB accredited business school and being one of the part-time MBA programs in the top 100. A little bit about the format and the type of programs that we offer. All of our courses are in the evening. So we have a couple of, I'd say 4 or 5 of the core courses that are offered 2 times a week, 5:30 to 6:45, Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. And the rest of the courses are offered 1 night a week, 7 to 9:45. So those are the course times throughout the typical semester. But our program is also hybrid. And what our hybrid looks like is that you have your odd weeks, like the 1st, 3rd, and 5th. Those are all in person. So you're able to build the relationships with the other students in the classroom and the faculty. And then the even weeks, 2nd, 4th, 6th, and so on, those are remote, either Zoom meetings, teamwork, asynchronous lectures that you would follow through. So it just depends on the class as to how those remote weeks are being offered. But it really provides the flexibility for students to have that on-campus, in-person opportunity to really connect with folks in the program, and then the flexibility to work remotely on those even weeks. So we have an MBA program that is general, and we also have a variety of concentrations if you want to focus into a specific area. So we have the finance, human resources management, management information systems, marketing, new venture management, and healthcare management. So those are the concentrations that we offer. And the students in the general and the concentrations are also in core classes and some electives with people that are participating in some of our dual degrees. So we do have 3 professional dual degrees with the law school, the dental school, and the med school. And then we have a couple of degrees within the business school. That's the quant finance and the management information systems. Those dual degrees are with the business school. And then we have other dual degrees that are with other colleges across campus. So we have with hospitality, we have the dual MBA MS with hotel, the MBA MS with healthcare, the MBA Masters of Science in Computer Science, and then the MBA MS with Civil and Environmental Engineering. So there's a wide range of programs depending on what your interests are and what's the best route for your advancement in your career. We also have an executive MBA program that is a little different format, but that is another option that you can explore. So the way a program works is we have 42 credits or 14 courses within the breadth of business. So you have your accounting, your leadership teams and individuals, finance, marketing, your micro and macroeconomics, data modeling and analysis, and then it all culminates with MBA 787, which is the capstone strategic management course. So these are the courses all students take, no matter if they're a dual MBA med student or a concentration in finance. So a lot of the students in all those different programs, they'll be taking these courses together. Now, what differentiates those programs are the concentrations and those extra electives that you take. So the first concentration is the finance. So you have those core courses that are giving you that breadth of business. The finance concentration allows you to get a little bit deeper into the finance area. So you'll be doing the financial management, investment strategies, looking at risks, modeling. So it gives you a lot of background within that finance area. And students can work in a lot of different fields within finance. And we have a wonderful career services office that works with our students to be able to help them kind of navigate their path through academics towards that career. So 42 credits, concentration is the same, 42 credits, 14 courses. But again, you have the 21 credits, 7 courses of the MBA core that all students take. Then you have 4 courses or 12 credits specifically in the finance area. And then you have 3 general electives. So maybe you want to do finance, but then since finance does work a lot with systems, you could take some IS courses or accounting courses. So you have those 3 courses that you can focus on whatever's going to work best for you in addition to that concentration. We have a human resources management concentration as well. This allows you to dig a little bit deeper into this area, and it's more of the people side of business. So there's a lot of different areas within human resources. You have employee relations, employee development, labor relations, talent acquisition, a lot of different areas within HR. And this does give you a good background and overview of the people side of business. We have seminar negotiations, change management, effective and applied human resources management, and then contemporary issues in human resources management. So we do have those courses that allow you to hone your skills and knowledge into the HR field. Management information systems, that is, I would say, more technical side of the MBA. However, It is managing the information. You can go into software concepts. You'll see the MIS 768 Advanced Software Concepts. You can go into big data. You can make it more technical or more on managing the information side, but it gives you a great opportunity because MIS is in every industry to kind of get a little bit of that information. I know I was talking to an undergrad accounting student, and she was talking about doing a dual program with accounting and MIS, and she's decided to actually do accounting and then an MBA with a focus in MIS because the number of systems that they work with in accounting. So very similar to the finance, you have the 7 core courses, the 4 courses within the concentration, and then you pick those 3 courses depending on your interests or whatever's going to work best for you in your future career. So new venture management is the entrepreneurial side. And a lot of people think that entrepreneurship is only for those folks that are going to be raising capital or the Shark Tank stuff. But we do have a number of people that are entrepreneurs. So they're working in a corporation, but they have that entrepreneurial mindset and can use it to advance their projects or teams within a corporation. So it does allow you to look at ventures, see if they are feasible, and how to move forward with that. So one of the courses, actually both the 709 and 710, the feasibility and creation courses, they have a culminating experience in the class, which is kind of like Shark Tank, where they do bring some investors in. The students will present and prepare and present, and then they will get feedback from the investors on what they liked, what they could work on, and whether or not that could really be a feasible idea. Seminar negotiations and change management are also part of that concentration. Now, the marketing concentration, strategic marketing and consumer behavior, marketing research, branding, digital marketing. So it's a broad field that, same as MIS, it does touch pretty much every business. So we have 21 core credits. That's the 7 courses, 4 courses within the marketing area. And marketing does offer courses fall, spring, and summer. So this is one that students, if you really want to go for the program quickly and get a concentration, marketing is probably the one that has the most electives available. So, and then you have 9 elective credits you can pick from any of the other concentrations or elective courses that we have. Healthcare management, very specific. So if you're interested in either working on the medical side, let's say you have an undergraduate degree in nursing, you want to advance in healthcare, this gives you the opportunity to get the business background, which is broad, but then kind of hone in onto specific issues that are related to healthcare that would advance you in that industry. So the required the required elective course is the HCA 701, the US healthcare system, and then you would pick 3 out of the other list of courses that are listed here. So you would be able to have a total of 4 courses, but give you a little bit more information into that industry. So we have a general MBA, and a lot of students will, let's say you don't have a business undergrad or business background, you're not sure if you want to do a general business degree or if you want to focus on a specific concentration. We recommend that students start with a general concentration, especially if you're undecided. As you go through and take the courses, work with the students, learn more about their industries, learn more about what works well for you and what you enjoy doing. You can either stay with a general concentration or you can focus in one of those areas that I mentioned. So it's something that's more of an individual decision and what's going to work best for you and where your fit is. So general MBA, you're able to take, you can take a new venture class, you can take an IS class, a couple of finance, an accounting class. So you have 7 courses you can kind of mold into what's going to work best for you. Or you can specialize in a concentration and focus your energy into a particular career area. Also, the networking opportunities, if you really want to you want to do the finance concentration, you want to work with a lot of people that are going to end up in some area of finance. It kind of focuses that networking. And then you also acquire specialized skills by having those additional courses focused into that one area. Both of them are great options. It just depends which way is going to work best for you. If you'd rather do more general for what you'd like in your degree, or if you want to focus on something that you plan to really focus in on as a career. We also have the dual programs that I had mentioned earlier. And the benefit of a dual program is that you save credits by combining two programs. So on the dual program, we essentially waive the 4 concentration courses, taking the regular MBA at 14 courses down to 10 courses. So it's a great way to add the business side to that specialized other degree, like the Master's of Science in MIS, the hospitality degree, the JD degree. So you do get that MBA portion for less credits. For example, the dual program with the MBA MIS, 42 credits for the MBA. When you combine them, it's 54 credits. So you have an MBA and a Master's of Science in MIS. Each dual program is different as far as the number of credits. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about those, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to schedule a Google Meets and talk a little bit about what you're interested in and how that can work for you. We also have a number of students that aren't sure if they're ready to go on for an MBA. We have the Business Administration certificate. This allows students to start taking those MBA core courses, 5 of the 7 core courses, and obtain a graduate certificate. Now, all of those courses can go on to apply towards an MBA or one of the dual programs. And it allows you to kind of try it before you commit to a full program. And still, we've had students that have stopped after the certificate. They've gained the information that they needed for what they wanted to do. And then we've had other students that have taken the certificate and then applied them to one of the graduate business degrees. So it's a great option to kind of get in there and start taking classes and receive the certificate after 5 classes. So these are the different certificates and other degrees we offer at the business school. So we have a certificate in business analytics, business administration, cyber, entrepreneurship and innovation, management information systems. Now the business analytics, cybersecurity, management information systems can be completed fully remote. The other ones, the business administration, follows the hybrid format, as does the entrepreneurship and innovation. 2 of those courses are hybrid. The other 2 courses could be in person, fully remote, or hybrid. The master's degrees we offer too, if you want to kind of look at some of those opportunities as well. We have a Master's of Science in Accounting, MIS, Quantitative Finance, a Master's of Arts in Economics, a Master's of Science in Cybersecurity, Applied Economics and Data Analytics, Data Intelligence. So there are other options for you, depending on what you're looking at kind of to move forward in your career and what your interests are. So one thing that I think is incredible about all of our degree programs at the business school is the return on investment. When you look at, especially for MBA, you have an AACSB accredited school, top 100 MBA program, and you're looking at tuition for in-state between $18,000 and $25,000. It's just an incredible value. So each of our graduate programs does offer an incredible return on investment. So I want to talk a little bit about the experience, and I haven't had a chance to upload our latest experience, but I did want to talk about some of the things that we do and some of the opportunities that you have within the business school. One, I think most students go back to school as a personal goal. It could be they want to get an MBA. It could be because they'd like to move forward in their current company. Maybe they want to get out of their current company into another one, or maybe they're switching industries altogether. Whatever it is, the Career and Professional Development Center that we have at the business school can help students with that path. We have our dedicated career and professional career office that can help students no matter where they are in their career. We have students that are coming out of undergrad with very limited work experience that need more assistance with resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn profiles, job search and interview skills. And then we have other students that may be 10 years in a particular industry or field, and they want to switch from like marketing to management information systems. So that's another type of transition that the Career and Professional Development Office helps students with. We also have a UNLV Career Services Office. Law School has a Career Services Office if you're a dual MBA JD. The Hospitality School, if you're a dual MBA Masters of Science in Hospitality student. So you have a lot of resources to make sure that you get that perfect job that you want, that you're going to school for. There's also LinkedIn Learning, and this is one of my favorite things because I've learned a lot about Excel through LinkedIn Learning, and this is something that UNLV students have an option to explore as well to hone in some of those skills. Beyond the classroom, yesterday we had an Executive Insight speaker, Matt Maddox, that spoke to our students. That was an awesome opportunity for students to learn more about the hospitality industry and the history of Las Vegas. We had a mixer afterwards that the students were able to connect with the speaker and with other students. Last week, we took a group of students on a business tour for the UFC Performance Institute. Great visit. And then afterwards, we had a mixer at Sierra Gold close by. So a lot of opportunities just in the last couple of weeks for students to really connect and be part of a graduate student experience. This picture was taken 2018. We took an international trip to China. We visited Shanghai, Beijing, and Hangzhou, and visited the Alibaba headquarters in Hangzhou. So it's a combination of business and culture. Now, that's one of the things that we do. We're heading to Chile in the end of May, beginning of June for our next international trip. This past year, we went to Italy. We have an MBA Student Association. There's an MIS Society. There's a lot of different groups, the Rebel Venture Fund, that you can get involved with depending on what your area is and how you want to connect. A lot of opportunity to connect with other students. The speaker series, like I mentioned with Matt Maddox last night, we have those usually once a month. We have some type of event for students to connect. These are some pictures from some of the other trips that we've taken. We did another trip in 2019 for China. That was a very specific trip doing business in China. We went to Russia. Last year, we went to Italy. So we do this every summer, and it's about 10 days long. The other things we do, karaoke. We've been doing karaoke for probably 10 years, and it still is one of our best attended events. During COVID, we started going outdoors for hiking, and we do have a hiking trip with our MBAs next Saturday. So we still are doing hiking at least once a semester. And this picture was taken at one of our last bowling events. So we do try to get students together, get them connected. We have had students hire other students. We have had students go into business together. So it's nice because you just never know where that opportunity can come from. We do business visits like the one we just did at UFC. These are some of the ones we've done in the past. We've gone to City National Arena. We've done the T-Mobile Arena, Area 15. We've gone to UFC. We've done gaming, the VA hospital. We usually do a trip every semester. And then there's also students that participate in the President's Innovations Challenge. This year is the 3rd annual President's Innovations Challenge, and it's been wonderful to see students take their ideas, present them, and then walk away with significant scholarship funds and money to start up their venture. Blackfire Innovation as well, another entrepreneurial hub through the Office of Economic Development and UNLV. So there's a lot of different opportunities for students to kind of get engaged, and it depending on what they're interested in, lots of opportunity. You're going to get this presentation afterwards as well. You can scan this when you get the presentation and listen to some of the student testimonials and of the students' experiences in grad school at UNLV. So I'm going to touch on just briefly the application process. The MBA program admits fall, spring, and summer. If you're interested in another one of the graduate degree programs that were mentioned, please reach out to us because they do have some may have different deadlines. Like quant finance only admits once a year. So if you're interested, please reach out to us. Application materials, transcripts, resume, statement of purpose. This gives us a little bit more information about your writing and also for you to really think through why you're going back to grad school. Letters of recommendation, we require 2 of them. And in most cases, we require an entrance exam. And international students would have a few extra requirements. Again, if you have any questions about any of the admission materials, please reach out to us. So the GMAT and GRE, we do accept either one of those exams. And this is typically for students that have limited work experience. If you are admitted to one of our, the medical, the dental, or the law program, we do waive that for those students and a few other situations where we will. But a majority of students will still take the GMAT exam. So we do have one testing center here locally. If you're not in Las Vegas, you can go to the MBA.com website and find where that local testing center is closest to you. This test is not one to cram for. It really helps you prepare to go back to grad school. When I went back for my PhD, it had been 12 years since I finished my MBA. I had submitted my application without studying for my entrance exam. And I realized that I was not prepared to go back to grad school. And I actually delayed my admission for a year. And I started putting everything in place and working on my study habits with my GRE so that when I got into grad school, I was prepared. And I think for me, that was one of the best experiences. Even though I do not like the test, it did force me to study and be ready to take classes and commit to the work for all of those graduate level courses. So that's a little bit about my experience. There is a new GMAT and a new GRE. They've streamlined it a little more to where it is more focused. It's shorter and you're able to review. So I really like what they have updated on the exam. And I think it will be more streamlined for students who will be taking it in the future. We also accept the GRE. I've taken both of them. I liked the GMAT better than the GRE. So I would look at both of them. Business schools typically prefer the GMAT, but we do accept either one. If you're interested in one of the dual engineering degrees, you'll want to do the GRE because they'll accept the GRE, and that's why we'll accept the GRE. So you're not taking both exams. So this is a little bit of information. If you want to get a hold of us, you can reach out on the leogss@unlv.edu email. We'll be happy to schedule an additional Google Meets, go over your specific questions, and hopefully be able to help you determine which route is best for you, your goals, and your future career.